So today's topic is the electrocardiogram, ECG, sometimes EKG. So this is basically German. Biopotential generated by the muscles of the heart. Once again, this is an important sentence. Biopotential, that means voltage, biological potential, generated, which is generating by the muscles of the heart, by the muscles of the heart. So this is a generator of biopotential. Okay, so it generates a waveform called ECG waveform. Generally we call it as PQRS waveform. So I am going to explain about what is the PQRS waveform, and considering the waveform, its amplitude and the time period, how to design an amplifier. This is our idea. First we will see the explanation of the waveform. So roughly we can call this as zero potential, or we call it as isopotential line. Then there is a small increment in the amplitude. We call this point as depolarization of the atrial musculature. So these are all part of the heart, or the components of the heart. So depolarization of the atrial musculature, this point. Next we call it Q. Then it slowly comes to the isopotential line. Then there is a small dip, and once again rises very steeply. So we call this as QRX. So this structure, this waveform is QRS complex. So what happening in this period? Repolarization of the atria. Once again, atria is part or component of the heart, and depolarization of the ventricles. So one is repolarization, another one is depolarization. Atria and ventricles are the components of the heart. Then after reaching S, it slowly rises above this isopotential line. This is J, and once again it slowly rises to T. So what is T? Ventricular repolarization. I already told you atria and ventricular components are parts of the heart. In this ventricular repolarization, it gets repolarized. Then there is a small dip crossing the isopotential line. Then once again it sees a slight amplitude, which is called U. This U is nothing but after potential in the ventricular muscle. After potential in the ventricular muscle. That means there will be some remaining voltage in the ventricular muscle. Once again, ventricular muscle is the component of the heart, or the part of the heart. It has some small, very small voltage. Okay. So this is the explanation for the electrocardiogram ECG waveform. Now we have to see what happens for the time duration between these two periods and what is the amplitude. Okay. Now we will see P. P is here. What is the amplitude? 0.25 millivolt. I already told you this can be taken as reference. Isopotential line, roughly 0 volts. So this is 0.25 millivolts P. Then coming to R. R is here. This is 1.60 millivolts. So this point is 1.60 millivolt. Okay. Q, 25% of R wave. So if you have a R wave is 1.6, in this 25% of R wave, that is Q. Then T. T is here. T is 0.1 to 0.5 millivolt. 0.1 to 0.5 millivolt. Okay. So the minimum value can be 0.1, maximum it can go up to 0.5. Okay. So that is about the amplitudes of the different portions of the electrocardiogram. Now coming to the time period. Time period between P to R, that is from P, this point to this point, is 0.12 to 0.2 second. 0.12 to 0.2 second. That is from P to R. Now carefully note down, it is less than 1 second. Okay. Then QT, 0.35 to 0.44 second. QT. Q is here, T is here. So this time duration is 0.35 to 0.44 seconds. Okay. ST. S is here, T is here. So first we take QT, then we take ST. The ST duration is 0.05 to 0.15 second. Okay. Finally P. P is 0.11 second. So we have P here. So this duration is 0.11 second. So the normal, if a person is normal, his heartbeat would be in the range 60 to 100 beats per minute. Okay. Now suppose if he exceeds 100 beats per minute, then we call it as tachycardia. The heart is beating very fast. Suppose if it is less than 60 beats per minute, then we call it as bradycardia. Okay. Keeping all this in mind, the ECG is an electronic equipment. Okay. So this electronic equipment, the input signal is very, very small. All are in millivolts. So this amplitude should be guided without any distortion from the surrounding noise, and it should be guided properly into the instrumentation system, amplifier. That is first point. The second point is, in electronic circuits, we have different types of amplifiers. One is capacitive coupled amplifier. The signal will be coupled through a capacitor. We call it as coupling capacitor. Then we have transformer coupled amplifier. Okay, these two couplings should not be used. Why? Because this is less than 1 second. It all happens in less than 1 second, or maybe maximum 2 seconds. But this will have its own, capacitance will have its own reactance, and it may allow frequencies greater than 20 Hertz or 15 Hertz. That means definitely this will not allow 2 Hertz. Similarly for transformer also, transformer is still worse. The waveform itself gets spoiled. Moreover, the frequency that it allows, the starting frequency it allows maybe at 20, 30, like that, 30 Hertz. So, to carry out this waveform without any distortion in amplitude and time, we have to go for direct coupled amplifiers. Direct coupling means no coupling at all, directly to the amplifier. A straight line, then it directly goes to a transistor amplifier. This is called direct coupling. The problem with the direct coupling is it is both AC as well as DC. But that can be, when you design correctly, properly, that issue can be solved. But in this place, if you try to put a capacitor or a inductor for coupling there, then those ECG waveforms will not be coupled to the amplifier. I call this as instrumentation amplifier. So, for the frequencies less than 10 Hertz or in particular less than 5 Hertz, always go for direct coupled amplifiers. DC means direct coupled amplifiers. Direct coupled amplifiers. That's the only solution as far as design engineer, electronics design engineer is concerned. So, for carrying out ECG analysis, I think this explanation is sufficient to understand the concept of ECG. What are the voltage levels, what are the time durations, why we should go for direct coupled amplifier. All these things you might have understood by this explanation. Thanks for watching. Nandri.